final. You are going to be creating an interactive storybook. So over here, I have a whole bunch of storybooks that people have created over the past few years. So this is what you're going to create. I'm going to read you a couple pages of each of these books real quick, just so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm expecting, okay? And then these are here for you, and I will have these here next week, so you can use these to think about what you're gonna do. But basically, it's an interactive storybook. So I want you to think about, you have your PE class, they're little kids. I mean, this could be kindergarten, first grade, second grade, but we wanna keep it that preschool age, little kids. And you come in and they're like, oh, there's gonna be school pictures today, or there's gonna be an assembly, you're out of your gym. So now you're stuck to a hallway or a little corner in a classroom, whatever the case may be. So this could be just an idea that you could do. So with this, you are gonna have the kids interact with the story and moving around with the story, but it's not like, okay, go run a lap around the classroom. It's something that they could do at their desk or stand up right behind their desk in a small little area. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So for example, this is a book called This is Frog, okay? So this is Frog. Alrighty. So this is Frog. Well, actually, this is Tree Frog, but his friends call him Frog. Frog lives in the rainforest. Shall we help Frog jump by shaking the book up and down? So this is gonna be more of one person, these examples, but you can kind of get the idea of how kids are interactive. Or you could say, can you all stand up and jump up and down so Frog knows how to jump from tree to tree? Okay. Frog, oh dear, quick, let's follow him. Use your fingers to run up the page. So you could say, run in place as fast as you can to try to go get Mr. Frog. Wait, what are you doing upside down, Frog? You're making me dizzy. Push Frog the right way up onto the branch with your hand. Or you could say, spin in a circle. So see how they're just gonna do basic, simple movements in order to be interactive with the book. Oh, that's better. Oh, look, yum, or flies, yum. Can you blow them towards Frog? So the kids will be like, okay, so just a quick little example. This one is basically the same thing, it's just owl. So, fine. All right, so this one's like, oops. Can you draw a big moon to help with your finger to help them see what's going on? Because it's really dark out. That's better. All right, this is Owl. Owl lives in a tree. What's the matter, Owl? Oh no, not this time. To be distracted by a beetle. Okay, sorry about this. Can you tilt the page to help Owl reach the beetle? So you could say, can we lean over? Can we stretch over to one side? So those are, this is Crab is kind of the same thing. These books, these are from New York State AFERD. So this is Finley, this is the New York State AFERD mascot, Finley, and they have made books. These books are actually kind of cool because all the drawings are done by a 9-year-old kid. It's wild, he's a really good artist. And all of the pictures are based out of Little Falls, where the central office is, Little Falls, New York. So you'll see, if you know that area, you'll see like the school in the background or the town hall. But this is, in a way, kind of like it too. So Finley's a sheepdog, he loves to be active. He goes on walks, plays with the ball, dances, and even goes to yoga classes. Downward facing dog is his favorite pose. So he talks about a friend who's very lazy and he tries to figure out different ways. They go for a walk. But then what this book does is it goes through all these poses. So then the kids can do yoga together and they can work together in different yoga poses with the book, with Finley the dog. So that one's that. This one also talks about they have another friend who's in a wheelchair. So they have different things that they do together in a wheelchair to make sure that their friend isn't included or left out, okay? So these are just some examples. Then I wanna just go through a couple examples that students have done in the past, just so you can kind of see how this works. So let's see, this one's really long. All right, we'll do Rex's short arms. No, that one was kind of silly. Now I'm remembering all these. All right, we'll do road trip, okay? So they picked Lightning McQueen. So Lightning McQueen, Sally, and Mater are going to a Piston Cup for Mater to compete. Can we help them find their way throughout the road trip? It's time to get on the road. Let's turn our keys and start our engines. So all the kids will be like, rum, rum, rum. Oh no, look, there's puddles in the way. Let's stomp our feet to get out of the water. So everyone will be in the back stomping their feet. Now that we cleared the puddles, it's time for us to continue our trip. The cars came upon a broken down van that lost a tire. Mater needs to tow the van to the nearest gas station, run in place to help Mater pull the van. Now that we made it to the gas station, Mater, Sally, and Lightning need to fill up with gas. Can we help them by holding your arm up like a teapot and lean over to pour the gas? Thank you for helping them fill up the gas. Now we can continue our road trip to the Piston Cup. Oh no, we hit a patch of bugs. Let's use our windshield wipers to clear the bugs. Thank you for helping us clear the windshields. We're so close. I see the stadium in the distance. We made it! Mater is warming up to compete. Can everyone tell Mater good luck? Mater won. Let's all congratulate him by clapping his hands. So this one isn't too much, but it's still getting the kids interactive. So I really want to see them like engaged in some sort of physical activity, but simple. Kind of making sense of what I'm looking for. So I'll let you look through these if you want. Actually, let me do one more because there's one key part in here that other book didn't really hit on too much. So Clay's Farm Adventure. Okay, so you see that they just use like Google Images. You don't have to be like an all-star Photoshop person because there's the white in the background, there's the stamps in the back. Like, it's fine. These aren't going to be published or anything, but you want to try your best to make it as colorful and interactive as possible. So Clay just moved to New York City, from New York City to a brand new farm in Kansas. He's really missing his old friends. When Clay arrives at the farm, he starts to see a lot of different animals moving around. But there's something strange going on. Look, everyone, they did not do spell check, because all of a sudden Clay can hear animals talking. So Clay decided to do some investigating. When he first arrives at the chicken coop, he meets Charlie the chicken. Hi, I'm Clay. Hi, Charlie, what's your name? So it goes through, but notice that Charlie is in a wheelchair. So in one part of this, one of your characters need to have some type of disability, and you're gonna be working with that. So that could be like helping that person or that animal or anything with a disability. There's some, like they took an animal and they cut off one of the legs, so they were only like a 3-legged animal, but they had trouble and they were trying to help them. Like a dinosaur could be missing some of their spikes. So you're kind of thinking of it, there's a lot of blind animals or someone that's blind in your story. So it's kind of a disability awareness for kids. How do you make it simple for kids about, someone might look a little bit different, but how can we make it into a fun story to help them? So with kind of that little quick background, on Brightspace, over on the content tabs, there's a section called Final. So I have a final project direction. Okay, so it's gonna be a Word document that I'm gonna read off of. But with your group members, you are going to create a children's book on the benefits of physical activity. So your storybook needs to have all of these things. A minimum of 3 characters, okay, and again, one of them have to have some type of disability. Some sort of physical activity that they are gonna participate in. There needs to be an obstacle that gets in their way. So this could be like a physical obstacle, like that puddle that they had to stomp all the water out. Or this could be like, my friend's in a wheelchair and is never able to participate in anything. How can we overcome this and make sure that like there's wheelchair basketball? So it could be like any type of obstacle that your story is trying to overcome. It needs to explain how they overcome the obstacle, and your story needs to be interactive so the children are active while reading it. So like the examples like these. I do not need an interaction for every single page, but I want more than like 2 or 3 interactions throughout the entire thing. Okay, so this should be interactive for the most part, but it does not have to be every single sentence. It needs to be an interaction. So how you're gonna create this, you and your group members, there's gonna be 3 of you to a group. Okay, and I have a sign up sheet on here that you will all sign up on. But you are gonna either use PowerPoint or Google Slides. I personally think Google Slides are really nice because then you can all work on it, especially when you're gonna be working on it maybe while you're home over Thanksgiving break or next week, or during finals week. So you can do that, and then each slide is basically gonna be a page of your book, okay? You need to have at least 10 slides, and the title page and the page that says the end do not count, okay? So there needs to be 10 pages in your book. The Google images, like I said, you can find different Google images. If you're really good with Photoshop, great, make it look awesome. If you're not, just make it colorful. What I don't want is just like a white piece of paper with words. That's not a really fun children's book. So there needs to be a theme throughout. Keep it consistent throughout, make it colorful, but make sure that you can read it. So you shouldn't have like a sky with lime green words that are not bolded and have a background behind it. So make sure it's very easy to see. Like this, you can see that's hard to see, right? They probably should have put a border behind it, the highlight behind it to make it bold. And whatever you do, keep it consistent. Some people will do like, okay, let's make this green and let's make this red and let's make this purple. And it just doesn't really look that nice. Like no one would publish that. So even though you're not getting this published, but you might, maybe one day, make sure that it's consistent and it looks nice throughout. So I'm gonna be looking just for that niceness of it. Make sure the words are big and easy to read. You shouldn't have a full page paragraph, okay? All of these children books, they're short, they're simple. I mean, preschool age, no kid's gonna probably be reading these at the time. Parents are gonna be reading it to them, but again, short and sweet, don't get too crazy. You are going to print off one copy for me that you're gonna bring next Wednesday. And notice that they're all in color. I would like a colored copy, I'm sorry, but go to the library and make a colored copy. I do not need it one per page though. You could make it to where you have 2 per page. I have some people that, I don't know where they are. There's tons of them in here, but they make like they do make a half page and they just cut it in half so it's a smaller little book in half. So feel free to do that so you're not wasting as much. But I would like one printed copy for myself. And then you are gonna submit this onto Brightspace Tuesday by midnight. So your finals Wednesday, that Tuesday by midnight, I want this submitted. There's a discussion forum, so you will all be able to see. I would advise you all to go in, and you'll only get your class, but to go in and save all these into your hard drive. Not that you have to print them all out, but that way, when you go student teaching and a day comes up or you have a rainy day and the teacher's like, do you have any ideas? Well, we could try this. They might be like, wow, that's a really great idea, cool. Or if you're going out and teaching and you just need something quick, or maybe you just have like, you're working on a one-on-one with a adapted kid and you kind of pulling something out of your butt to try to make something work. Maybe this is gonna be something that they would really enjoy and you could do something like this. So save all these if you want. On the day of your final, I'm gonna go through, we're gonna have all 3 sections of classes here. So we're just gonna go through, whoever wants to come up. I'm not gonna say, okay, Tuesday, Thursday class go first, Monday, Wednesday go next. It's just whoever brings me their printed copy. All of these will be up on the computer. So I'll just have Brightspace up, you'll click on your name and you'll bring it up and you're gonna read the storybook to everyone in class. And then they're gonna act as if the little kids and they're gonna do all the interactive stuff. So when someone's reading the story to you, you are gonna interact from your seat. Make sure when you submit these onto the discussion forum that you do not have it attached to your Google account, because then it will say like we don't have access, you're gonna have to log in. So make sure you do download it, save it as like a PDF or something, and then upload it so that way you don't run into any issues and it doesn't take time to do that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything that you think I'm forgetting? I know that was like really fast, but I want to make sure we got all of that. Are there questions? Yes. I would prefer you don't, just for grading purposes, if you could please stick with this class. Let's see, let me go back through. If you go back into Brightspace, I do have the grading form in there. You do not need to print this off. I will have these all printed off. They actually look like this. Okay, so I will have this for each group member. It basically just goes through the directions. So did you have a minimum of 3 characters? that's 9 points. So it's 3 points per character. One of them has a disability. Some sort of physical activity is 5 points, an obstacle 5 points. How they overcame the obstacle 5 points. Was the story interactive? That's 11 points. So that's 35 points. Then how you created it, is it looked nice as the PowerPoint or Google Slides. Each page was a page of your book. You had at least 10 pages. It looked, the background, the characters, the activities, it all looked professional. The words were easy to read. You printed off a copy for me and you submitted it on Brightspace. So this is 50 points. This is a huge chunk of your grade. So make sure that you do really well on this. Okay. And then the only other thing that you have on the Brightspace is I have on here a sign-up sheet. So it just goes here. So Tuesday, Thursday, you can see. So all I want you to do is just put your names. I don't need to know the title of the book or anything like that, but just put your name so I know who's working with who in the right section. And then people who are watching this, make sure you do your Monday, Wednesday or whatever too, or your Tuesday, Thursday. And so make sure you do that. I would try to do that ASAP so that way we know who's working with who and you have time to start working on all of this. And then the last section on Brightspace is, you'll see discussion forum. It says final project storybooks discussion forum. That is where you will submit it. I only need one person per group to submit this. Just make sure all 3 of your names are on there, okay, in the title. Questions? Okay, you can pause that.